Good morning and good evening, everyone, and welcome to Rain Girl TV. I'm Kimberly Williams, and I'm honored to have you with us today. In a world where headlines change by the minute and global events shape our daily lives, we're here to bring you the stories that matter the most. From the latest developments in politics and government to major world events, economic shifts, international affairs, and the issues impacting communities across the nation and around the globe, we've got you covered. Tonight, we'll break down the facts, examine the headlines, and explore the stories behind the news with clarity, insight, and perspective. Whether it's decisions being made in Washington, conflicts and diplomacy overseas, or the events shaping our future, Rain Girl TV is your destination for informed discussion and meaningful conversations. I'm Kimberly Williams, and this is Rain Girl TV, where news meets understanding and every story has a voice. Welcome to another episode of The Interview. Today, we're going to be interviewing Mayra Uribe, who's running for Orange County Mayor. Finally get to sit down and talk with you.
Yes, very
I'm glad you came for an interview.
It's great to be here. Thank you for having me.
Very nice to have you.
I'm excited to see all of your listeners out there and everyone who's listening. You got to listen to the show regularly because you are having a lot of candidates on here. And the best way to know who to vote for is to listen to them and see if you like what they say.
It's true. That's the only way you're going to learn about the candidates if you listen to them. So tell us a little bit about who you are and how you got started.
Oh my goodness. So what's really cool is I'm actually born and raised here in Orange County. I'm first generation American. So my mother's from Argentina, my dad's Colombian, and my parents moved to Orange County here in 1972 before I was born. And my dad was an engineer for a company called Martin Marietta, which is now Lockheed Martin. And my mother had me here, and I was born here. And it's crazy is I was born and raised in the same house my parents bought until my husband and I bought our house. So I've only moved once in my life.
Wow.
And that was, well, of course, when my husband and I got married, it wasn't newlyweds. We kind of moved in to kind of get ready to buy our own house. So we lived with my mom in the house for 2 years, saved our money, and then bought our house. And that's the only time I've ever moved.
Wow.
So I haven't lived anywhere else, not only in Orange County, but anywhere in the United States. And sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad, because I love visiting, but I love my community. I went to elementary, middle school, high school. I graduated from Oak Ridge High School, so I'm a pioneer. But more than that, like the church I go to, I went there with my parents. I went there with myself as an adult, and I went there with my husband, and now with my children. So we're like generational, and it's nice to have that. You know, I call it home. And I'm a firm believer that a lot of times, you know, when you make it or when you grow up, you tend to leave where you grow up. I actually looked at it very differently because my area that I live, which is called Pine Castle, which if you can think about it, it's the OBT, Oak Ridge Road, Lancaster Road border. I went to Oak Ridge and I went to Lancaster. Has really changed. When I moved there when I was born there in the 70s, a lot of people either worked at Martin Marietta or they were part of the military. We used to have an Air Force base here called McCoy Air Force Base. And so I grew up with military kids or engineer kids. And then obviously things happen and evolve just like communities all over. And I've started seeing that our community is very diverse. Unfortunately, also crime grew, difficulties grew. And I remember when my husband and I were looking for a house, I said, I want to stay in this area. And he's like, really? And I'm like, yeah, this is my home. And I'm a firm believer that you fight for your home, for your community, for your neighborhood. And that's how this story started.
So at what point do you remember how many years ago you decided, like, this is something I want to be in politics? I would like to.
So I'm going to be honest. I've always loved politics. So when I was 11, I used to volunteer. I worked with the Democratic Party. I was president of the Young Democrats. I worked on Bill Clinton's campaign, Buddy McKay for governor. That was before your time.
Okay.
In the 90s. And then in 2000, I worked for Al Gore and Bill Nelson when he became a U.S. Senator. And Bill Nelson won, and I got lucky. I got to go work for the U.S. Senate for 8 years. Yes, very exciting.
Yes,
it was. And in 2010, I actually decided to run for office, and I ran for county commissioner. And one important thing about 2010 So Barack Obama gets elected in 2008. And they always say, if you look at history, things change dramatically after you see a big shift. Just kind of like when Trump got elected the first time. When Obama got elected, it's like we call it the red wave came in. And in the year that I ran for commissioner, I lost to a Republican in the general, but Mayra Uribe became U.S. Senator, Rick Scott became governor. It's like it shifted politically.
Well, now at that time, that's when Florida was a blue state.
Yeah, well, we had turned blue for Bill Clinton's reelection, but we did go back red for Barack Obama, but he still won. And when I lost, I was like, I'm done. I will never run for office again. You can have this. This is too much work. And at the time, my daughter was 5. My husband and I had been married 7 years, and it was a lot. Running for office, anyone who steps up and runs for office, and I know people a lot of times put their names on the ballot, but then there's people who actually go out and do the work. And people who really commit to it, you have a special place in my heart because it takes dedication. No one's like picking you up and saying, go. You got to self-motivate, just like business owners, just like parents, just like all of us. There's no one in the morning telling us to wake up to go take care of our kids. We have to do it. And politics is the same thing. And so I didn't like it. I mean, I didn't like that process. It was just very brutal. Politics is a little, and so I said, I'll never run for office again. 2010. And we're going to fast forward 2017. And by the way, I went into nonprofit. I still had a calling to help the community, and I started raising money for nonprofits locally. And my love was for a group called Healthy Start. And it was women who had difficult pregnancies to ensure that they lived through their pregnancies and their babies too. Okay. And who would have known I would have become a client. In 2017, at the age of 43, I found out I was having a baby.
Wait, hold on. At the age of 43?
Yes, ma'am. Yes. Yes. I'm so good. Yeah, so 2017, I found out I was having my son. So here I had a 13-year-old getting ready to go to high school, and I was pregnant, and that pregnancy was killed, literally. I was in the hospital 57 days. I went into pre-labor 28 weeks, and as a woman, you know, it's not good. And I stayed in the hospital 57 days, and during delivery, I lost a lot of blood. And luckily, because of technology and great healthcare, my son was a little bit of a preemie, but we made it. Okay, both of us.
Well, that's good. I'm glad to hear. I've met your son.
Yeah, he's big too. Can you believe he was a preemie?
No. I would never think that he was a preemie. He's a beautiful baby. Well, he's a beautiful young man. So, out of that experience of going from where you were after you had your baby and everything, and being married, and you were running for office, what are some of the things that you feel like you want to do differently in this campaign, and if you're elected?
One of the best things that I love being a commissioner is being out in the community.
Okay.
Just even Saturday, we had a food drive where we gave out 400 meals to families. I'm excited. I'm getting ready to do backpacks. Every year I do 1,000 backpacks. We have health fairs. We've had shoe fairs. Shoes are expensive. And we've given out shoes. We've given out clothes. During COVID, we gave out all the things they needed, including vaccines. And to me, the essence of public service is people. And I love people, actually. I really do. My husband's like, yeah, I think you actually love them. I'm like, I do. They need to feel it. I'm lucky enough. I had a strong mother who made me feel that anything was possible. And I feel that it is my calling to stand up for those people that don't ever get seen, don't know how to do it.
And we know that being a public servant can be difficult. So these are some trying times right now.
Yes, they are.
So on your campaign, what kind of stories are you hearing of people struggling?
Like everything,
the difference that you want to make.
Yeah, I mean, I'll just say, for instance, we had a food drive on Saturday, and I normally don't do food drives in June or July because it's so hot. It's not really safe for my volunteers, right? But I was getting calls, and I was getting calls from teachers who said my students aren't eating at home during the summer. Families don't have food. Senior citizens not have food. And I'm like, not in this country, not in this town. And so we did it. And I was already delivering food. And then I finally told the team, I said, no, you guys don't like this. Oh, we got to do this. We got to help people. And then you started seeing people needing help with policy, transportation, with links, with a stop sign, with a speed hump, with, all of these things that are important to people. And see, I think that's what's really important about public service. You may need a speed hump in your neighborhood because your kid's going on a bike and people are driving too fast. And that's very important to you. And then I've got someone over here who has a boat dog, and they've got people drinking late at night, midnight, having parties out in the water, and that's important to them. And I think what's important to know is when you serve, you gotta serve everybody. It's like your kids. You can't predict what your kids want.
That's true.
Your community is like your kids.
Okay.
Whatever is important to them is important.
So what do you plan to do about transportation? That leads me to ask you.
Yeah, well, I'm very excited. I have a huge passion for transportation. One, I serve on a state board. So in Orange County, we work as 3 counties: Orange, Osceola, and Seminole, like in the transportation with lanes. Goes to Osceola, Seminole, Orange. So I serve on that board that represents that, but I serve on a board that represents 67 counties in Florida. And I was recently appointed to the Florida 2055 transportation plan, because transportation, really think about it. And you coming from Chicago, know this. You can get on a train or you can get on somewhere and connect. Not here. We don't have connectivity. We have a train that goes this way. We have a bus that kind of goes somewhere like this. We've got cars all over here, but we don't have any real connectivity. We have to do that. But we have to be purposeful. If we want people to get off the roads, we have to make it easy to use public transit. And that's super important. But while you're doing that, you can't abandon your roads, your sidewalks, or anything else that goes on. And I tell people all the time, you're not going to believe this. Guess how many people drive cars in Central Florida? What do you think percentage-wise I've ever heard?
Oh my God.
Now, you're from Chicago.
80%?
92.
Wow. I was close.
92% of our population are single driver. Because I talk about myself. I can't get in on a train or a bus. I don't have 3 hours to get to work. I drop my son off to school.
That's been one of the issues that I've been hearing and talking to people is the bus issue. They said it takes like all day to get to work. So.
Yeah, it takes, I think the average is about 2.5 hours.
That's a long time.
That's a long time. If you go to work for 8 hours and it takes you 2.5 in the beginning, 2.5 at night, that's 5 hours. You could have gone and worked a whole other 5-hour shift. It's horrible. And then you look at Sunrail, it goes from here to here, but nowhere else. It could go to the airport. The airport, by the way, 30,000 jobs. That's work. And nights and weekends. You've got along the Sunrail, you've got Orlando Health, you've got Advent Health, you've got City of Orlando. But if you get on a train, let's say you go to work at 7:30, right? And you got a double shift. You don't get off at 11 to 11. And there's no train coming up.
That's true. So, I mean, have you started developing a team?
Yes. I actually have a plan. And I also, it kind of taps into tourism too. We need tourism money to help contribute to our transportation. 21,000 people rent cars in Orange County every day. That's the average rental car. Because we're the number 1 tourist destination. But they don't contribute to our roads. They don't contribute to our infrastructure. They don't contribute to our public safety. They don't contribute to anything, but yet they use their stuff. It's like having someone over your house every single day, but they don't come and they don't pay rent. So we got to be serious about it.
So what about affordable housing? What are some of your goals for affordable housing?
Well, first of all, I'm very open. Orange County has a very slow process for permitting and development. If you're going to build an 8,000 square foot home, and we need 2,000 square foot homes because those are more affordable when you're a realtor, right? So 2,000 square home is going to be much more affordable than the 8,000 square foot home. But if I'm a developer and it takes me the exact same time to build them, what incentive do I have to build affordable housing?
Do you have any plans to change the school system?
Well, the school system, unfortunately, doesn't fall under our purview as a county commission, but doesn't mean we don't work with them.
Right. How would you effectively be a part of that?
Well,
working with
one, I'm very proud in my district. I have 26 elementary schools, 6 middle schools, and 4 high schools. I've been to all.
Okay.
I have gone personally whenever we have food drives, whenever we have back to school drives. That's who I communicate. I tell people my number 1 pedestrian that no one ever thinks about are children. And so safety, I mentor high school students. It's about giving back because they're our future, So even though Orange County government has nothing to do with those CPS, I'm super engaged. Principals over the graduations because they need to know that someone's out there.
Well, the reason why I asked that question is because even though it's still government and you're still dealing with different parts of government. Yeah. So being able to work together and come up with some creative ideas that improve the school system.
Absolutely.
Because we know, and I've heard it, a lot of schools are closing.
Yes.
So I would hope that you would have some input on how to.
Legally, we don't, but it doesn't mean we don't have relationships to support each other. And that's the key thing. Actually, most of my events take place at schools because it's easier for you if you go to a school to know how to get there and you feel safe there. And I remember we did a lot of our COVID relief was in the high schools. We usually use high schools because they got bigger crowds. It was Oak Ridge, it was Colonial, it was, Freedom. It was the schools where people knew they were, where it was safer and it was bigger. And also those are income tokens. And not everyone has a fair chance at things. And so we need to bring them up. I tell people all the time when I talk to kids, and I love it. I tell them, I said, look, I've come this far, and I'm so proud of how far I've come because I know I came a lot farther than my mom expected. And I think as a mom, you'll understand. So when I was a kid, someone said, Mayra, I work hard, so you don't have to work. That's really good. And I would be like, okay, mom, I don't know what that means. Okay, until I became, and it's all about them and their success and them not having those challenges we do. Well, that's not a look at the community. I work hard so you guys have a better chance. And I tell people, I fight for families like mine because I don't differentiate them. And I hope my children, at the end of the day, are watching. And they will do the same. Doesn't mean I want them to be politicians. Just good people.
Absolutely. So, we're going to take a break.
Okay.
And after the break, I have a couple more questions.
Okay.
You're going to stay with me?
Yeah, I look forward to it.
We'll be right back after these messages.
This segment of Rain Girl TV with Kimberly Williams is proudly presented by Hill & Sip Tea Bar. More than just a tea company, Hill & Sip Tea Bar is a community-driven movement focused on healing, mentorship, and youth empowerment. Founded by Jocelyn Hardy Stewart and Dee Robin, Hill & Sip was created to provide support, opportunity, and encouragement for young people while promoting mental wellness throughout the community. When you purchase from Hill & Sip, you're doing more than just enjoying a great cup of tea. You're helping support a mission dedicated to creating positive change and brighter futures for our young people. Discover their amazing selection of teas and learn more about their inspiring work by visiting hillandsip.com.
So thank you so much for coming back. It's been a pleasure so far having this conversation with you. So I want to talk about something that's been, discussed within the constituents. And have you resigned?
Yes. So by law, I am required to resign. I actually cannot run for another office because I just won in 2024. So technically, if I stayed my entire term, I would be elected until 2028. I have to resign in order to run for mayor. Now, the difference is there's been a new law in Florida that said you can resign early. And you've got to realize when that law was really opened up at the time, the governor wanted to run for president. And normally you can't run for president when you're running for something else. Florida statute and Orange County Charter says I resign and I'm in office till the first Monday of December, which is December 7th. It is very critical for me, and not only me, but our community, of why I'm staying till December 7th, regardless of the outcome of this election. This week, we're starting our county budget. We've got to make sure we get our things done. I've got 2 brand new playgrounds going in. I've got a new park. I've got a new homeless shelter.
Wow.
I've got TDT. They want to take that tourist development tax money and tie it up in the convention center. And that would be disastrous for our community. And you've got a budget that you've got to fight for and for our community. So because of political reasons, for you to resign just because you have other endeavors and give up on your duties. And we've already seen, governor has no interest. I have an empty seat to my right. If I were to leave early, no one wins. There's no voice for our district, just like District 2 hasn't had a voice for months. But more importantly, that's when bad things happen and people sneak things in. And I tell people all the time, this is not about politics. I wish people would stop believing that this is politics. This is about people. And at the end of the day, my job is to represent people, not myself. And I'm not fake. Okay, I've never lied. I've never misled anyone. My intention was to resign December 7th. Now, people tried to intimidate me, threaten me, bully me. But what people don't realize, to be where I'm at, that's part of the game. But what's important here is I'm a mom. And I tell my kids, you don't take threats, you don't take bullies. And I was not going to be a hypocrite to my family. Okay. And whatever God has planned will happen. But just know that what is in here, it's not about me, it's about us.
And I'm really happy that you've been able to address that.
Yeah.
You know, that clears a lot of things out for people who have questions as to why you didn't step down. Now they have the answers.
Yeah. And really, as much as I don't like to point fingers, I'm a little disappointed in the system because there were some great candidates that started running for office and I encouraged some of them. I actually had them on my podcast. I wanted people to meet them. And I was going around the district saying, you're going to have a new commissioner. You need to get to find out who you want to vote for. And then we all had the rug pulled out of us because 3 weeks before resignation, I get a call and says, hey, we just found out there was a change in the law. You got to do this. Change in the law didn't just happen. Change in the law happened in 2021, but our local supervisor of elections never bothered to look into it. And when they went to go ask Tallahassee what the rules were, it was late. And Tallahassee still hasn't responded. So when I resigned, I actually asked the governor, please consider giving me an elections in this community. I'm not about making people lose their voice, but this became a political process that wasn't fair. And I'm hoping they will still do the right thing.
Well, thank you so much again for addressing that. So Orlando is one of America's most diverse cities. How will you ensure every community feels represented?
Well, I am part of America. I mean, I'm first generation American. My husband's African American. My kids are a quarter of everything. And we're the essence of what Central Florida is. I think we're the essence of what America is.
Yeah.
You know, all I want to do is everyone should have an equal shot. Equality is the word that I like to say. Is that regardless if I'm Spanish, you're Black, you're white, you're this, you're that, whatever you are, this country's amazing. We're made up of people like us. And everyone should have that equal shot. I mean, who would have thought a daughter would be around right now? I mean, I'm certain when my parents came here, they never would have imagined, but the unimaginable came out. And I'm excited about my kids, your kids, everyone's kids, because I think we're only seeing the cup of what's about to happen in this amazing world. And hopefully, I mean, just even seeing women, how much women have changed. I mean, it's crazy because there's culture, there's gender, there's so much. And I think at the end of the day, if you have a passion to serve and you want to do better, step up.
So how will you handle like Orange County's immigration issue? Do you think that that's gonna?
Well, we did a lot. I mean, first of all, we were duped by our own county mayor. Our county attorney, because they made us sign a form that was not accurate. But we persisted, and we finally got a process that's actually fair and equitable, which means if you get picked up and immigration doesn't take you in 48 hours, they let you out. They don't let you sit there for weeks and months. And that was wrong. That was wrong. And also one of the big things I wanted to know is, let's just say you are an immigrant. You've never been arrested. So what are your rights? So we had your rights put up. And then lastly, we made sure that if you're a person who like went to work and never came home and your family's not being you up, you can actually go to the website and find out if they were being detained.
Okay.
You have to empower people. You know, at the end of the day, we're all adults. We make choices. We make choices when we came to this country. We make choices when we leave our home every day. And I mean, I tell this to my kids all day, every day. We're going to make choices today. And you got to think about those choices that you make. We can't control every dynamic, but we can try to do right. And it hurts me to see the pain that it's caused families. It hurts me to see across our country the pain and the loss of humanity that we have for individuals. It's like we're not human beings. We came into this world the same way, and we won't go the same way. And what you do on this earth will be seen. And I'm a firm believer of that. And I don't ever deny my Christian God. You know, it's my relationship with God. But it is what's in my head. And I think about what I do and what I say, because that is a reflection of God.
Okay. I mean, that's very important. And I'm glad that you
I'm
are
comfortable
reflecting on
every
immigration,
day.
because that's a hot subject right now. And it's a lot of hurting families. There's a lot of
trust me,
families have gone through things. They don't know where their family members for 24, 48 hours until someone says, hey.
One of my son's classmates' father was picked up and he was removed back to Colombia. And so the mother and the two girls are here. And we as a family collectively, not my family, literally, us as parents, chipped in, donated, made sure they were taken care of, because that's what family does.
And how did it affect your son?
He doesn't quite understand why. He's young. But he knows Victoria's dad is not there anymore. And he says Victoria's very sad. But he doesn't quite understand what happened and where they are. But it's tough. But we support each other. I don't talk to Victoria's mom and say, well, depending on your immigration status is where my care, not for you, or my assistance personally for you. So we do what we do for family.
Do you feel like you're a candidate that can reach across the aisle?
Absolutely. I already do. That's one thing I'm very proud of. I mean, I'm proud of who I am and what my beliefs are, but it's no accident that I'm serving on a state board, because people on the other side of the table feel comfortable with my leadership. And even a step further, if the governor is the one that approved my appointment to the 25th fund. I have never met the governor. I don't have a relationship with him, but his people vetted me and felt when it came to representing Central Florida, they thought I was the best candidate. And that is an honor to me, because I tell people every day, when I go to work, I don't represent Democrats, I don't represent Republicans. I represent everyone. Even if you're not registered to vote, guess what? You have a voice. And so this isn't about politics. This is about people. And I tell people, I am the most non-political position you could ever have. It is about people and what we can do for our community. And I tell people, I'm never going to vote on those hot topic issues that are at the federal level, because I'm not in the federal government and I'm not in the state government. I'm your local county commissioner to make sure your trash gets picked up. When you pick up the phone, you need to call 911, when a pothole, when a speed hump, when your water, when you turn it on, you want to make sure it's clean and healthy. That's my job. That's what I do. And I think I've done a good job at it.
Are you ready to, given you're elected, are you ready to address some of the most toughest issues that's facing West County?
Yes, I tell people, hard to me, the essence of why I'm doing this is being able to do that. If I didn't have to campaign, it'd be so much better. But that's part of getting there. But I look forward to prosperity and hope.
So I think I'm asking you, are you ready on day one?
Yes, I am ready on day one. I have spent 7 years learning everything about the county. I have the org chart. I got every division. I know who I want in certain places. But also, I want people who have never been on the inside to come in. Because government has always been like one of these things. Like, you can come, what do you need? That's how they treat you. It's like, you can come in, but we can answer your question and then go on. No, this government is to feel like people are part of it, and they want to defend it, and they want to be a part of it and get everything they can.
How can you talk to the audience and let them know why it's important to make their voice?
I tell people all the time, your vote is your voice. And as sad as it is, we can talk, we can meet, but your vote is so powerful. When you make a decision and when you come out, you're no longer just talking about it, you're taking action. But it's more than just voting, it's getting involved in this process. And I tell people, I'm proud. I mean, no one owns me. I'm not getting all these status quo companies who are investing in me for a reason. My investment is you. My investment is you. And right now you can catch me. I tell people on my flyer, on my website is my cell phone number, my email, and it's an AOL. So I'm old. So yes, don't judge me. An AOL. That's me. I respond to people. I respond to text messages. I try to respond to all the phone calls because I want to look you in the eye and I want to serve you because I believe in you like I believe in us. And just like I fight for my family, I want to fight for you. And I think it's time we put people first. And everything else will come along. But when people know, when your children know that you care about them, they trust you to lead them and to guide them. We do that as parents. We do that as good human beings. And I want to give that to our kids. And I believe it will keep.
I think it makes a difference being that you're from here.
Oh, yeah.
You're from the city that
That's not anywhere else to live. I think if somebody told me I had to move, I'd be like, where? I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. Winter Farm. I don't know. I've never lived anywhere else. I love my community. And people like my daughter always makes fun of me because I went to Oak Ridge and it was a different time. My daughter, like, you went to Oak Ridge? Like, and I said, yes, Faith. It was a different time. It was different. And yeah, we used to leave our sliding door open and our windows open too, you know? It was a different time. But
so if you could talk to your younger self, what would you say?
oh my gosh, if I could talk to my younger self, I would have said, don't be scared. You got this. Believe in that faith that you always were told and you thought you had. And I got to tell you, and I don't want to get preachy, but I've been through a lot. Politics is not easy. I think that if I would have known 9 years ago what this would be, I don't know if I would have done it. I'm being honest. This is an honest conversation. I sacrifice a lot. I miss my family a lot. There's nothing sadder than coming home and my son's already asleep. Or my kids saying, oh, we miss you. It hurts. But I also think about what I've shown and what I hope when they're adults, they'll see what it is. But if I were me and I could go back, I think I would tell myself, you can do it. There's a long time that I held back. And I helped other people because I didn't think I was good. And almost dying was what scared me into doing it. And it shouldn't take you that. Okay, don't wait for that. But there's nothing like not knowing that you're going to do it to make you live harder and stronger. And at the end of the day, being what I do should be something I did, not who I am. And I think that when I die, and I'm not dying, I'm not trying to die, but I hope when people remember me, it won't be because I was a good wife. I hope it'll be because I was a good woman who followed God, good wife, good mom, good friend, good neighbor, and then somewhere down the line, a good public servant. Because to me, this is something I do, something.
What keeps you planning? I know you have your children, you have your husband, and I know you're a spiritual woman as well. When you go out and you come home, how do you relax?
So I got to tell you, I wake up at 4:00 in the morning.
Oh, wow.
And I exercise every day for about an hour or 2 hours. And it's my time. My family sleep. And that's usually when I read my scriptures and I listen to my playlist. I have my playlist, we all do, okay? And it's like my time when no one interrupts me because no one's usually up between 4 and 6 a.m. And it really is clarity. And my husband says, I don't get up so early to work out. I said, because it's for me. And I make time for me.
That's really good.
That's
hard time working out.
Yeah, it's once you get started and you enjoy that, and it's like, dude, everyone talks to me all day. Like, and then when I come home, my kids talk to me. And I love my kids, but my kids' conversations are very different. My son loves Michael Jackson right now, and my daughter loves social media stuff. And it's great. And my husband wants to talk to me and he's great. But like that time's my own. So it's my head's the clearest in the morning. But being with my family really grounds me.
So you're canvassing also, right?
Yeah.
So you're canvassing.
And making phone calls.
You're making phone calls.
Yeah.
You're out on the campaign trail doing so much work. And then you're working out.
Commissioner.
Do you cook dinner for your family too? Like, how do you have time for all that?
I don't cook dinner. I'm a great heater upper. Okay. I'm not going to lie. We're famous for going out to dinner and having leftovers. Okay. I'll even order an extra plate and I'll be thinking in my mind, okay, my son can have chicken in there. My daughter can eat the ribs and chicken. I do. I'm a great heater. I'm not going to lie. I am great for breakfast, And I love, so every Sunday I make breakfast. I make, bacon and croissants and stuff like that. And I'm really good at making sandwiches. My son says I make the best PB&Js because I take the peanut butter all the way to the edge.
Oh, wow.
And jelly all the way to the edge. So every bite has it. So, but it's those things that, how it is, it's like the smallest things that bring us so much joy. And when I really get a chance, I love to clean.
Yeah, cleaning is not like I keep it clean, but
I know, you know what I mean? It's like that deep, like I'll have a pile of things I need to go through, like going through it makes me feel good.
wow. You're pretty energetic.
I am, but when I crash, I'm gone. My husband always tells me when I get to bed, he goes, "Can we talk?" I'm like, "Not if you want me to answer."
And I can really feel that you're up for it right now. You're up for the challenge.
Yeah. I'm excited about it. I'm excited, and it brings me light. Yes. It brings me light. And I tell people, I don't know what's going to happen. I really don't. I'm going to work hard and do everything I can. And then for some reason, I'm not the mayor. I'm going to have to trust in God that he may have something else for me, but it just wasn't my time or whatever. And that's okay. Because I tell people, I don't pray to win. I pray for my health. I pray to get through this. I pray for protection because the devil is always present. Gosh, he works so good, 24 hours.
Yeah.
And but that's what I pray for. I don't pray to win because winning can mean so much.
So I know you're really focused on community. You've been doing a lot of outreach and things like that. Do you have anything that you can give our audience as far as like where they can donate because you see the need?
Oh yeah,
especially.
I tell you what, I always take donations. When we had our food drive, 3 people drove up and I was like, "Oh, they need food." And they're like, "No, we came to drop off food." And I said, "You did?" And they said, "Yeah." Well, we had run out of food. So all the donations, we were able to bag them as the lines kept coming and we were able to give it out. And I said, "See, sometimes you don't even know when your blessings are going to come," because I felt so bad that we ran out of food. But like the last couple cars, people were like, "I saw you on Facebook with a live and I wanted to bring food." Wow. And I was like, thank you. We were able to do 5 more cars. 5 more families because of that. So don't be scared to get involved. We're going to be doing a lot of back to schools. We always do food drives. We always do community events. And we also do town halls, knowledge events. I always love empowering the public. When you empower the public, then they can support you because they're like, all right, now I know how this works. And knowledge is power.
Knowledge is so do you have a place that you can tell people where they can donate?
So you can always contact my office, which is County Commission. It's 407-836-5140. But I'm going to give you my number because that could be anything that you want to donate on. You may want to help us get elected. You may want to help my office. My number, 407-721-3433. Again, that's 407-721-3433. I'm also on social media. You can send me a direct message. But if you want to get involved, if something today moved you, come on, I'm inviting you. Whether it's volunteering in your community, whether it's volunteering to get us elected, whether it's you wanting to know more about government, I'm here for you.
When is your next canvassing event?
Tomorrow. Yeah, I mean, we canvass every day, and now we canvass on Sundays at 2:00 after church. Go to church first. After 2:00, because you know what? There's only 36 days. 36 days to the election. August 18th, absentee ballots. The vote by mails went out last week. Next thing you know, August 3rd to the 16th, early voting. So there's no reason why you can't vote. 25 locations across Orange County, and then there's election day. So it's not too late. So hopefully something moves you today. To get out and vote, to make sure your vote counts, and to make sure your voice is heard.
Great, thank you so much. So we want to thank you here at the interview for coming on to the show and telling us a little bit about who you are and what you represent. And we could clearly see it's definitely community. So you guys get out and vote on August 18th and have a great day and tune into our next episode of the interview.